It is about making English a part of your thought process. Get ready to learn some simple, effective daily English habits that will help you learn English faster than ever before.
Does your internal monologue happen in your native language, even when you are trying to speak English? We are going to break down why this happens and how you can begin to shift that inner voice.
Changing the way their brain processes the language is the secret ingredient to truly living in it. Welcome to Learn and Talk English podcast. Have you ever found yourself desperately trying to find the right words in English? It is a common frustration that so many learners face. Today, we are diving deep into a skill that can completely transform your ability to speak English naturally: how to think in English. It is the very foundation of effortless communication. Imagine being able to express your thoughts without that constant delay of translation.
Ultimately, learning to think in English builds incredible confidence. Every time you form a thought directly in English, you are proving to yourself that you can do it. These small victories build upon each other, reducing the fear of making mistakes. You start to trust your instincts and feel more comfortable taking risks with the language. This confidence is magnetic. It makes people want to talk to you, which in turn gives you more practice. It is a wonderfully positive cycle that accelerates your journey toward genuine and lasting English fluency. Thinking in English dramatically improves your listening and comprehension skills. When your brain is already operating in English mode, you process information directly, you understand more, you react faster, and you can engage with the material on a much more meaningful level.
This deep English immersion of the mind is what separates advanced learners from intermediate ones. Furthermore, thinking in English fundamentally changes your relationship with the language. When you think directly in English, you start to understand its nuances on a much deeper level. It allows you to keep up with native speakers and participate in conversations with much greater ease and confidence. When you stop translating in your head, you eliminate a huge mental step, which means you can speak much faster and more smoothly. What does it truly mean to think in English? It's about silencing the translator in your mind. Most learners translate each word into English before speaking, which is inefficient. True thinking in English means generating thoughts directly in English, like when you see a beautiful sunset and the English thought appears instantly. This is what native speakers do unconsciously. The goal is to make this direct pathway the default, a fundamental shift in your mental wiring. Thinking in English is like having a built-in dictionary where words are ready to use. This is internalizing the language. This shift requires conscious effort and practice. Become aware of your mental habits. Do you hear your native language first? We'll give you exercises to bypass translation and build a more direct connection to English, which is key to improve English speaking skills. I remember struggling with French. I spent years learning vocabulary and grammar. I could ace tests, but in real conversations, my mind would freeze. I was caught in the translation trap. I'd hear French, translate it to English, formulate an English answer, and then translate back to French. The conversation would move on. It was exhausting, like my brain was running a marathon. I focused on language conversion, my speech was slow and robotic. I wasn't thinking in the target language. This created a barrier to fluency. The turning point was realizing my method was the problem. I started forcing myself to think in simple French phrases. Instead of thinking, I need to get up, I'd think, je dois me lever. It was difficult at first, but I persisted, starting with small thoughts and building up. Slowly, the translation step faded. My internal monologue began to feature more French. I knew I was on the right path. Thinking in a new language is a trainable skill. It's about creating new neural pathways. This is the journey to help you learn English faster. My story involves forced immersion. I studied in Spain, thinking my classroom Spanish was enough. I was wrong. For a month I was lost, translating everything. I could order coffee but not converse. The mental effort to keep up with native speakers was exhausting. My host family spoke almost no English, which was a gift. I had to follow along at dinner, unable to retreat into my English brain. I absorbed the sounds and rhythms daily. This intense listening practice was crucial. 6 weeks in, I realized I was thinking in Spanish. Necesito tomates y pan popped into my head directly. It was wonderful. My internal monologue happened in Spanish effortlessly. Conversations became easier with less translation. This shows the power of immersion. Create an immersive environment where you are. Fluency is less about books and more about living the language.
James, what was your breakthrough moment? So, what does it feel like when you start to think in English?
In the beginning, it feels strange. You have to consciously force your brain. It feels like you are acting. This feeling is normal. You are building a new mental muscle, and it will feel awkward. As you practice, this fades. You will notice small moments where an English word comes to mind first. These are the first signs that new neural pathways are forming. It's no longer a forceful act. It feels like a fun mental game. The next stage feels like dual-track thinking. Your internal monologue switches between languages. This is a fantastic sign of progress. You are developing a bilingual mind. Finally, it feels natural. Thinking in English becomes automatic. The language becomes invisible. This is the ultimate goal. It allows you to truly express yourself, making your goal to speak English naturally a reality. We've discussed thinking in English. Start labeling your surroundings in English with single words. See your bed? Think bed. See a cup? Think cup. See a tree? Think tree. It's that simple. This builds a direct connection between objects and their English words, bypassing your native language. Upgrade to 2- or 3-word phrases. Instead of just cup, think white cup. Instead of window, think big window. Do this anywhere, anytime. Integrate this into your daily routine to turn your life into a language learning environment. Start creating a simple internal monologue in English by narrating your actions and thoughts. As you get ready, think to yourself in simple sentences. Don't worry about being perfect. Grammar mistakes are okay. If you don't know a word, describe it. Keep the flow of your thoughts in English as much as possible. This trains your brain to problem solve in English. There's no one to judge you, so experiment with the language. Describe your actions, feelings, and plans. These simple sentences are the building blocks of fluent thought. Dedicate short periods of your day to this habit. Starting small makes it manageable. This is a powerful tool to improve English speaking by mastering how to think in English. Building the ability to think in English is not about one grand gesture. It is about the accumulation of many small, consistent actions. The key is to integrate English into your existing daily routines. Think about the things you already do every day, and find a way to attach a small English habit to them. For example, do you write a to-do list every morning? From now on, try writing it in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. Buy milk, call mom, and finish report are great starts. This connects the practical task of planning your day directly with the English language. Another powerful micro-habit is changing the language settings on your devices. Switch your phone, your computer, or your social media apps to English. At first, this will feel challenging as you navigate familiar menus with unfamiliar words, but you will be surprised at how quickly you adapt. You will learn new, relevant vocabulary like settings, notifications, and share through pure, repeated exposure. This is a form of passive English immersion that forces your brain to operate in English for tasks you perform dozens or even hundreds of times a day, making those terms second nature. Think about your hobbies and interests. How can you bring English into them? If you love cooking, start by looking up recipes in English. If you enjoy video games, switch the game's language to English. If you follow a sports team, read post-game articles or watch interviews with the players in English. By connecting your language learning to things you are already passionate about, the process feels less like studying and more like fun. This intrinsic motivation is incredibly powerful and will help you learn English faster because you are genuinely engaged with the content you are consuming. Remember, the goal is consistency, not intensity. It is far better to practice for 5 or 10 minutes every single day than to have one long 2-hour study session once a week. These small daily English habits compound over time, creating significant progress. Each tiny action, writing one item on a list, reading one headline, thinking one sentence in English, is like laying a single brick. It might not look much on its own, but over time, you will have built a strong and solid foundation for thinking fluently and confidently in English.
Finally, one of the most effective ways to get your brain to think in English is to surround it with the sounds of English. This is where English listening practice becomes absolutely essential. There are 2 ways to approach this: active listening and passive listening. Active listening is when you are fully focused on what you are hearing. This could be watching a short YouTube video, listening to a podcast episode like this one, or watching a scene from a movie with the specific goal of understanding the content, the vocabulary, and the pronunciation. You are engaged, you might take notes, and you are working hard to comprehend. Passive listening, on the other hand, is just as important but requires much less effort. This is when you have English audio playing in the background while you are doing other things like cleaning the house, driving, or working out. You might be listening to an English radio station, a playlist of English songs, or have a news channel on low volume. You are not trying to understand every word. The goal is simply to get your brain accustomed to the rhythm, intonation, and flow of spoken English. It helps the language feel less foreign and more familiar. By combining both active and passive listening, you create a rich, immersive audio environment for yourself, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. Active listening builds your vocabulary and comprehension skills directly, while passive listening helps your brain absorb the natural cadence of the language subconsciously. This constant exposure helps tune your ear to English, making it easier to process when you hear it in conversation. It also fills your head with correct sentence structures and common phrases, which can then surface more easily when you are forming your own thoughts. Start by finding content that you genuinely enjoy. If you try to force yourself to listen to boring news reports, you won't stick with it. Find podcasts on topics that fascinate you, music from artists you love, or TV shows that make you laugh. This enjoyment is key to maintaining consistency. The more you listen, the more natural English will sound, and the easier it will become for your internal monologue to switch gears. Your brain will start to predict sentence patterns and fill in the blanks, which is a huge step toward thinking directly in English and achieving true, effortless English fluency.
One of the biggest challenges you'll face is fear. Specifically, the fear of making mistakes. This fear is a major obstacle to speaking English naturally. Change your mindset. Mistakes are not failures, but learning opportunities. Every fluent speaker made mistakes to get where they are. Practice in low-stakes environments like your internal monologue. Find a supportive language partner or tutor. Communication is the goal, not perfection. Celebrate successful communication even with errors. Focus on connection, take risks, and practice freely. When you start thinking directly in English, it feels slow and awkward. That's normal. Your brain is building new pathways. Imagine forging a rough trail through a forest, not speeding down a highway. The slowness means you're making progress, not failing. Every slow, deliberate thought in English is paving that mental road. Don't give up and revert to translating just because it feels easier. This stage is temporary, like learning to ride a bike. It's wobbly at first, but soon it becomes natural. With practice, you'll stop overthinking and just ride in English. To handle awkward pauses in conversation, use simple filler phrases. Let me see. That's a good question, or just a moment. These buy you time and show you're engaged. Embrace the slowness, it's an investment in your future fluency. Trust the process and keep practicing. The speed and confidence will come. Remember, everyone feels slow at first. The only way forward is through. Be patient with yourself. You're building fluency, one thought at a time. Thinking in English is tough and can leave you mentally exhausted. When you feel tired, your brain wants to switch back to your native language. Don't push yourself to burn out short. Focused practice is better than long, draining sessions. Try the Pomodoro technique, 20 minutes of English, then a 5-minute break. Let your mind rest without guilt. Adjust your practice to your energy on tough days. Just label objects or do passive listening. Listen to your brain's signals and be kind to yourself. Support your brain, get enough sleep, eat well, stay hydrated and move your body. A healthy brain learns better. If you're tired, scale back but don't quit. Consistency matters more than intensity. Take care of yourself and your English will improve. Fatigue is normal, manage it, don't fight it. Rest is part of the process. Keep going one step at a time. Everyone blanks on words, even advanced speakers. When it happens, don't panic. Take a breath. Try describing the word you can't remember. This is called circumlocution. For example, if you forget screwdriver, say, the tool for turning screws. This keeps the conversation moving and builds your flexibility. Have escape phrases ready. Sorry, the word escaped me, or what's the word for? These make pauses collaborative, not awkward. Often your partner will help, and you'll learn the word in context. If you're alone, make a note to look up the missing word later. Every blank is a learning opportunity. Don't see it as failure, see it as progress. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Use these moments to grow your vocabulary. Stay calm, stay creative. Turning blanks into learning is how you build fluency. Let's recap the key strategies for thinking in English. First, stop translating. Build direct connections between your thoughts and English words. Start by labeling objects around you in English. Move on to simple internal monologues. I am listening to a podcast. Make English part of your daily habits. Change your phone language, write lists, follow recipes, immerse your ears, combine active and passive listening, expect challenges, fear of mistakes, slowness, fatigue, and blank moments. Reframe them. Mistakes mean effort, slowness means growth, fatigue means rest, blanks mean learning. Use coping strategies, filler phrases, short practice bursts, and creative communication. Consistency is key. Small steps every day. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Anticipate hurdles and keep moving forward. Your goal, effortless, natural English thinking. Stay resilient and patient. You're on the right path. Learning to think in English is a personal journey, not just a skill. Some days you'll feel fluent, other days you'll struggle. Both are normal. Be patient and celebrate small wins, like thinking of an English word first. Fluency isn't a finish line, it's ongoing growth. Even native speakers keep learning. Don't chase perfection. Enjoy the process. Find joy in challenges and connections. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. Your efforts expand your world and your mind. This journey changes how you see and think. Carry excitement and possibility with you. You have the tools and the ability. Trust yourself and the process. The reward is expressing your true self in English. Your journey is happening now. Keep going. Now it's your turn. Take action. Share one simple thought you had in English in the comments below. It could be anything.
This is helpful. I'll try labeling objects, or I'm excited to start.
Don't worry about mistakes. Just practice and share. By joining in, you become part of a supportive community. Reading others' comments will motivate you. You're not alone. Take a breath, form your sentence, and post it. We can't wait to cheer you on. If this episode helped you, please like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. We have more tips coming to help you speak English confidently. Share this episode with friends who need it. You could help someone have a breakthrough. Thanks for joining us on the Learn and Talk English podcast. Keep practicing, stay positive, and see you next time.